Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Firestorm at Home. It's me, one of your hosts, Coach FreeLove. We're here for our AcroFlex series. We are actually on episode number 6 for AcroFlex. So before we get started today, let's make sure that we have the space to get started. We're going to clear out space in front of the couch or in front of the TV or in front of wherever we're streaming. Make sure that we move all the things out of the way. And if we have a mat today, we're going to be laying it just like this, across, long ways, not narrow, not towards, going out towards the TV, but we're going to lay it across because we're going to be doing most of our stuff in this space here. If you have siblings, I would highly recommend that you offset your mats so that they're not one directly in front of the other, but that if you have one there, that you slide over a little bit and fold one out here. So, if you would like to give yourself just a moment to catch breath and drink some water and get your shoes off, now is your chance to do so. Make sure you take those shoes off, and if you guys are in socks, great. If you are barefoot, just as well. But we're not going to be in shoes for today. Now that I've got all my space, I'm well hydrated, and I've got my shoes off, I'm ready to start my class. I've got my mat laid out, and I'm not accidentally going to bump into anyone or anything. Make sure of it. Make double sure, then make triple sure. Then take a nice strong stance with your chest up, shoulders back, and your chin forward in a neutral position. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times. In through our nose, out through our mouth. Last one, in through our nose and out through our mouth. Good. We're going to get started with our head and neck half circles. So we're going to go ahead and bring that chin over to one shoulder, down across the chest, up to the opposite side. Make sure that you keep this going, but keep your posture strong. Don't fall into a slouch. Keep rolling your head and your neck out. Just like that. Nice job. Now, we're going to go on ahead and start with our shoulders. Done with our neck, moving to our shoulders now. We're going to pull them up into a big shrug, and we're going to circle them going forwards. So shoulders go up and then towards your front side of your body. Then they come down. Big shoulder shrugs, just a few of them, making sure that you don't move just your shoulder, but you're also moving that big giant bone in the back, moving your shoulder blade. So you get a lot of movement in that shoulder shrug. Let's stop there. Go our opposite direction now. So big backward shrugs, moving shoulder and the shoulder blade, and a full lift, and a full pinch, and a full drop, a full curl, rounding the front, making sure that we've got all 4 of those major directions reached up, back, down, and in front. Woo. All right, we're going to switch over to our arms out in this T pose. Make sure that you've got a nice, wide, strong stance still. Arms are out. We're going to start with a few forward circles. And we're going to stop, go backwards. And we're going to stop, then go forward slightly larger. And keep that going for just a few moments. You should start to feel a little bit of burn in your back, in your shoulders, and maybe a little bit of that in your traps. So those are the muscles on top of your shoulders and your neck. Let's stop that bigger circle. Start backwards now, about the same size. And again, so you're going to feel that burn up towards the top of your trap here, your trapezius. You're going to also feel that in your shoulder, that's your deltoid. You should still be spinning backwards, right? We're going to feel that in our traps and our deltoids, and a little bit of our lats. So in these big muscle groups back here behind us. Big backward circle, and let's stop. Good job. Now, we're going to mobilize our elbows and then our wrists. We're going to take those hands out. I like to set this our cactus position because I'm like a cactus person. But now from here, I'm going to take my hands out to the outside, and then they're going to come underneath to anti-cactus person, but then they're going to come up to our chest, come all the way over the top and back out. We're going to keep those arms swinging in that singular direction, going all the way around. This is our lateral arm circle. And stop outside, bring it opposite direction now. So up through the top, down underneath that hand circle, or lateral arm circle rather. Good, stop right there. We're gonna go ahead and drop that. Make sure your shoulders, your traps, your back are feeling it. Good. We're going to widen our stance a little bit. You guys can see I'm now almost twice as wide at my feet than I am at my shoulders. So 2 times my shoulder width down here. Now that I'm planted firmly, not going to go anywhere, I'm going to start with my torso twist. First my muscle twist, then my momentum twist. Twist as far as you can. Get all the way to the end of your twist. Hold it. And then untwist to your opposite side. Every time you hold it, hold for 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, and then untwist. We're going to do that once more on each side. So big twist in, 3, 2, 1, and big twist opposite, 3, 2, 1, and come back. Now we're going to do our momentum twist. Twist just a little bit faster and make sure you keep looking the direction of your twist. Alright, nice. Just a few of those torso twists, combining our muscle twist and our momentum twist to get most of, if not all of, our spine taken care of. We're going to go into our hula hoops now. So, big pelvic circles, hula hoops, hip rolls. There's lots of different names for this movement that we're doing, but the goal really here is to mobilize the very bottom of our spine and our hips simultaneously. So, make sure that you get a good tilt sideways, curl forward, tilt sideways, and then curl backwards. We're going to follow that all the way around, trying not to move our spine, trying to keep our head, chest, and shoulders in place. Now opposite direction. So I was going counterclockwise. Now I'm going clockwise. For those of you that have only digital clocks, that's an unfortunate reference that you may no longer get. Either way, we're almost done. Just now finishing up our last few of our hip circles. Let's go one more for good measure. Good, and we're gonna stop. Put our feet and our knees together. Get into a nice low squat, and then we're gonna lock our legs back out. I'm gonna turn, you guys can stay facing the previous direction. I'm gonna squat down, and then lock my legs back out, trying to almost hyperextend a little bit. Sometimes when we squat down, when we push back, it may cause a little discomfort on the knee. So I like to go hands on my thigh as well. So squat down, hands on the thigh, push the legs lock, and continue doing this just a few more times. Just once more. Boom. We're going to squat, standard squat, and then start our knee circles. We're going to take the washing machine approach. So I want you to take 3 or 4 knee circles going one way, then 3 or 4 going the opposite direction. We're going to go back and forth for our knee circles. So take your time, finish rolling them out. Make sure that we're staying nice and strong in that movement. Try not to fall over. Try not to hold on to something for our help. We want to balance and keep ourselves in good control. Nice. Go on ahead and stop. We're going to step into a lunge, staying on our mat, but putting our weight over one leg, pulling ourselves up, rolling our ankle out. Just that ankle, roll in not just one direction, but both directions. So if you've yet to switch, now is your chance. Go on ahead, switch your ankle roll. And we're going to switch ankles. Switch to our opposite ankle, big rolls around. Put some of your body weight in over that ankle. Make sure that leg has a job that it's doing. The job is holding you up. Woo! Nice, and opposite direction as well. Oh my. So, make sure that you guys are breathing, constantly breathing. In the nose, out the mouth. We're going to just finish up with our wrist, lock our fingers, roll our wrists out. Oh my goodness. Roll in both directions. We're gonna get started with just a few jumping jacks. Now real quick, for you guys doing your jumping jacks at home, I would like that this is your closed position, or your end position. We're gonna go from here, start and end. That mid position that we're gonna jump to is going to be jumping out like the shape of an old school jack if you've ever played the game jacks. So we're gonna jump out into that jack position. Those of you that can, I want you to reach all the way up to a clap and also make your arms clap on the sides of your head. You can see my head is curved, right? They squeeze in that curve. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our jumping jacks, guys. In and you guys keep going. I want you to keep going, keep strong with your jumping jacks. The use of our legs going out and our legs coming in combined is going to be super helpful for a lot of the split stretches that we're going to do today. We're talking about our middle split. So go ahead and give those jumping jacks a stop. Woo! All right. And we're going to start doing just a few lunges, warming up all those big muscle groups in and around those thighs, around those hips. So, going into this front to back lunge, where my heel, as you guys can see, my back heel is up off the ground. My front leg is bent. What I'm going to do is take my front knee, or my back knee, my mistake, take my back knee right down gently to the ground, and then push it back up. We're going to drop that knee down, and bring that knee back up. You guys can see, this is a very slow, controlled action. I'm not slamming my knee into the ground. I'm softly, gently setting my knee down. Good, that's 5. Let's switch to our opposite side. Again, front to back lunge, heel up, lean in. I'm going to bring that back knee softly to touch the floor, and then come right back on up. And we're going to do this 5 times. That's number 2, touch number 2. Good. Keep it going smooth. Bam. Nice and touching soft. That's number 3. And then all the way down. Boom. Nice light touch. That's up for number 4. No hands if we can. Use your hands to support you if you need to, but no hands if possible. Boom. That's 5. Woo! So you should feel just a little bit of warm up in your quads. We're going to take a wide stance, nice wide straddled stance. We are not in a middle split right now. So if you guys are sliding down into your split, that is too much. That's too big. This may actually even be a little bit too much. This is almost 2.5 my shoulder width. So if you need to make some slight adjustments, bring them in. Should be just about double your width. We're going to keep our heels planted, bring our hips down over this heel, and then raise this heel. And we're going to do that heel raise just like that 10 times. That's 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Nice. 10 of those raise, and then we're going to turn that knee outward, pick that heel up, swing the hip open. Nice. Wide combination of our warm-ups and our stretches. Now the heel is going to come up, swing the hip open. All right. We're going to stand ourselves up, adjust our feet as we need to. Toes are pointed out essentially at a 45-degree angle right now. And again, what I just did, my right, I'm going to replicate on my left, keeping my heels down, squatting as deep as I can get. No hands. If you need the support, use your hands. We're going to lift that heel up off the ground 10 times. So that's 2. Looking at 3. Now, if you can get your hip all the way to your heel, great. I cannot. So I'm back over here, using my arm for support. 4 and 5. 5 left. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and bring our legs in and together. You guys should be feeling nice, warmed up, mobilized, blood is pumping. If you're not feeling that way, you were probably doing those movements wrong. I'm a big old dude, and I'm always working out and constantly doing stuff, and I can feel those movements. So if I can feel it, you should too. Now, we're gonna go ahead and take this moment to hydrate. Get a quick sip of water. Guys, go ahead and drink some. I'm gonna drink some of mine. Excuse me. All right. Oh man. Boy, that water's some refreshing stuff. Oh, I love it so much. So good, super helpful. Make sure to keep all my bits and bobs moving the right way. Lubricate the body. Gotta make sure that you guys stay hydrated, super well hydrated. So, now's enough time for you to get a drink of water. If you guys are just joining us, it's AcroFlex episode 6. We're stretching out a bunch, mostly our hips. We're going for a middle split. Not a front to back split where your thigh on the bottom and on the top, right, are pressed against the ground, but our middle split where our legs are straight out to the side. What is often referred to as the hardest of splits. Most people don't have it. Most people don't do it well. I am most people. I don't have it and I don't do it well. So guess what we're working on together? Middle split. So we're going to start actually by loosening up a lot of the lower back and the lower abdomen to make sure that we're ready for this. We're going to start with a pike stretch. You guys can stay standing. It's going to be your preferred means of doing the pike right now. We're going to lean ourselves in. And now you guys, I'm going to turn, but if you would like, you can face either direction at this point. We should not be bumping into each other as long as we stay over our mat. I'm going to go ahead and put my feet together. Toes and heels are touching. Lock the legs out. I'm now straightening out, locking out my spine. And when I go to fold and reach down for my toes, I'm not starting from the top and curling down. I'm going to keep this straight spinal figure, and I'm going to keep it out, and I'm going to lean it out into the point where it can no longer go. And then from here, trying to squeeze, stay strong in the spine, and let gravity take a hold of you, right? There's a few stretches where we use gravity to help us out quite a lot. Those of you that can reach and get all the way to the ground, awesome job. I'm pretty much there with some forceful fold and some flex. I can make it. No matter where you're at though, the most important part of your pike stretch is that we're loosening up our lower hamstrings, our glutes, and our back by keeping our legs locked. So keep those quads flexed. Muscle up here in the top of your thigh should be squeezing. Actively, effectively squeezing to almost pull your chest down closer while the back is keeping all those muscles and those bones straight and strong. And then we pull ourselves into that floor touching point. Nice. We're going to come on up out of our pike stretch. We're going to lean back, taking our hands, putting them into our lower back, pushing our hips forward, leaning our back, chest up, chin up. Now you guys can't tell, so I'm going to turn just one more time so you can see. But I'm turning my fingers in towards each other, and I'm also squeezing my elbows towards each other so that while I lean, I squeeze in. Nice. Good. We're going to go on ahead and come out of that reverse lean. So our pike stretch is done, knocked out of the way. Our reverse lean is knocked out of the way. We're gonna go on ahead and assume a nice standing straddle. We've been in and out of this position several times today. We're gonna be in and out of it several more times. Get used to it. The most important part of gaining your flexibility is actually making your body and your brain understand that this is a regular thing. So we're gonna go out of that position, into that position, out of that position, into that position. Though we may not be stretching a lot right now, it is imperative that for you to gain flexibility, you cut out time to stretch 2 or 3 times a day, every day. Consistent stretching is going to be key to gaining that flexibility. So now I widen myself out to about the edges of my mat. If you have shorter legs or a smaller person, you're not going to be this wide, and that's okay. We're not doing our split yet, just our straddle. As you guys can see, I'm not even down and reaching, because what I'm doing is I'm priming my body for that reach, getting myself ready for all the weight of my torso that's going to load into my hips. So we're just going to continue to hold this straddle for just a little bit longer, keeping our feet pointed forward. My toes are no longer pointed outward. There'll be time for our toe points differently later. We're going to keep our toes pointed forward and squeeze our glutes to keep ourselves locked in place. Good. Now, there should be a little bit of muscular quiver. Maybe I'm getting a little bit exhausted. The weight of my body is starting to wear on the sides of my hips and my glutes and my butt cheeks. That's good. Now it's time for us to go into our stretch. We're going to go on ahead, straighten out that spine like we did for our pike. We're going to lean ourselves forward. You should feel this immediately in the interior hip flexor. That's the part where your thigh grabs your inside of your pelvic socket. We're going to go on ahead and lean in there. We're going to put our weight down towards the floor if we can. And again, I'm not curling my body down. I'm staying squeezed, strong, straight. And now I'm holding myself up. For those of you that can do your split, great. You shouldn't be in a split right now. We're actively using these muscles here. In our previous episode, we talked about a special stretching and a special way to gain flexibility. That was our PNF stretches. We talked about that episode 5. So if you guys don't remember that, that's proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, PNF. I know it's big words, it's a lot of big words, but all right, we're gonna lift ourselves up. Oh yeah, and now we should be able to widen ourselves a little bit more. My toes are slipping off. I'm gonna turn my toes outward now. Turning my toes outward, holding my balance, squeezing to hold myself. All right, we're gonna go hands down to the ground. We're gonna walk our feet slowly back in, just a little bit. Woo! Stand ourselves up. Nice. So, you should be feeling that plenty in your hips now, right? But we are not bringing our legs all the way together just yet. We are staying in a straddle, even though it's less intense than it was before. We're staying wide open in the hip, reminding our brain this is okay. Our hips do this. They're supposed to do this. Those muscles have to be familiar with this position and this movement. We're going to go on ahead and we're going to take a nice big upward reach. We're going to turn our torso over. We're going to lean that same strong spine like we did before. Now we're going to lean out over one leg. I'm picking to go over my left here. So reach up, turn to lean, out over that leg. If you need to, you can put your hands down to support yourself. But our goal here is to actually use our hands and our arms as extra weight. So when I put myself into this upward reach out here like this, all that weight of my arm out at length, that's weight that is helping to pull me, and I have to then fight to hold that weight. So again, more of that muscle use, or facilitating that muscle use. So big reach up, big lean out. Now you should feel some squeeze on the inside of your hamstring here, and you should feel some lower lumbar, your lumbar spine, some of your lower back. It's going to feel a little bit of that tension. Good. And then from here, where I had my chest forward, and then I turn and my chest is down. Actually, since I'm leaning to my left leg, I'm gonna take my right hand, reach that to my left foot. So I'm going from here to here, and then reaching my opposite hand up towards the ceiling. This twisted stretch, I want you to keep holding that. Big straddle. One hand to the opposite foot, big twist and reach. It's gonna be hard to balance. You're gonna feel quite a lot of that stretch on the inside of your hamstring, behind your knee, and again in your lower back. So when we're in this turn position, holding ourselves up, the trick here is that I'm actually grabbing onto my own leg to fight to help give myself some leverage in this battle for balance. Nice, we're gonna come back down, and now we're going to let ourselves round out a little bit, and we're gonna get as close as we can to our leg. No, don't forget, it's important that you guys keep breathing in the nose, out the mouth, that whole time. We're gonna come right back up over the top. Okay, so that is a pretty intense stretching circuit that we're going to replicate now on our opposite side. It starts with us being up straight, and then we are going to turn out and lean in and over this extended leg. Hold yourself up. If you need your hands to hold you up, use a little bit of support. If you can do it without your hands, use them at length so they act as extra weight, pulling you deeper into the movement. Giving also your muscles more to fight, more to hold, that more weight, that extra facilitation of those muscles is uber helpful for creating mobility. Good, and just like we did before, we're gonna take the one hand, reaching it down towards the foot. Again, this is your opposite hand to that foot, from here to here and here. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Keep your reach. Keep your legs locked. Flexing the quads. And come on back out of that, up over the top. All right. We're going to go on ahead and bring our legs together. Catch our breath for a second. And now we can go on ahead and walk our legs out just a little bit. We're going to actually do our next stretch from a seated or laying position. So if you guys have not yet cleared out that space and made room for yourself, please do so now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get just like this onto our knees, sitting on our heels, keeping our toes down and our heels together, trying to get our hips all the way onto our heels if we can, as best as we can. From this position, we are just resting for a moment. We have our hips out in a very open position for an extended period of time. Right now they're closed. We're going to keep this tucked, try and keep our hips seated, and we're going to lay our chest down onto our knees, something similar to our child's pose, but with those legs tucked. We're holding this position for just a moment. We're going to push ourselves forward and into our ceiling stretch, our seal stretch, our C-line stretch, are lots of things, but we're pushing ourselves up into this position here. And then we're going to push ourselves back, flex our feet onto our toes. We're going to go into a downward facing dog here, just like that. If you can, let's try and get our heels on the ground, and you should feel some of that stretch in that area on the back side of the calves, in the low end of the calf in your soleus, or in the upper end of your calf being your gastrocnemius. We're going to keep those legs straight, and now slowly bend them. Keep yourself pressed in. And that stretch, you should have felt it at the top of your calf, now you're feeling it more at the bottom. We're going to do that a couple of times. So we're going to lock those legs out. And if you can get your heels to the ground, do so. And if you can't, that's okay.
We're gonna go from our locked out position into this bent leg position, keeping our weight back over our toes, keeping the weight loaded in, and then straightening back out. Heels come up, heels go back down. One more time, everyone. Deep breath in the nose. Bring the knees in. Exhale through the mouth. In through the nose. Heels go down. Out through the mouth. All right.
So, we are now, I think, ready for our next stretches. Just about. I think it's smart to take this moment to get a quick drink of water before we get too heavily involved in our next series of stretches, which may feel sort of like our first, but that's because a lot of that's going to be similar. We're going to be just adding a little bit of spice on there and retargeting those areas. So go get your water if you have not yet gotten your water. I'm going to go get mine. All right. I hope you guys are ready. I don't make plans for nothing. We got a pretty solid plan. We're about to go on ahead and finish following that plan all the way to the end of our hour of class together. We are going to start with a seated middle split. So we're going to essentially get into a straddle as wide as we possibly can. I'm actually going to take my mat away to help me to do this. So I have socks on and I'm on a carpet floor. Socks will slide on the carpet and that's going to help me. If you guys are on a hard surface, tile or hardwood, socks are going to slide. That's going to help you. Help is a perspective term right now because help means it's going to hurt you a little bit more. It's going to allow you to slide deeper into your stretch, which will help you to hurt more. But it will help you to be more effective as a whole. We're going to, again, start with our middle split. I'm going to slide myself as close to middle split as I can. You guys can see my feet are turned out. I'm sliding straight down, coming to this point where I can hit the ground, and then I'm going to reach through my legs to set myself down in a seated position. Now, I'm going to flex my feet and point my toes. And sitting as wide as I can, maintaining this width as wide as possible, I'm now actively taking my toes from that point where my big toe is touching the ground or nearly touching the ground, and I'm rotating my hips out to make my pinky toe touch the ground. Now I'm gonna flex, and I'm gonna point, I'm gonna roll in, roll out, flex, point, roll in, roll out, flex, and point. And we're gonna continue to do this for quite a time, but keep it going. Doesn't have to rhyme. All right. But make sure that you guys get a big flex, big flex, big flex. You're gonna hold it in that flex, and if you guys can, reach out under your own calves, slight bend in the knees, turn, add to that rotation, pinky toe out to the ground, turn that leg out, pull your chest in and through, point the toe, rotate in, and back, flex the foot. We're gonna do that 3 more times. Point the toe, rotate in, turn it back, and flex the foot. Point the toe, rotate in, turn it back, and flex the foot. Keeping that width as best as possible. Last time, point the toe, rotate in, rotate back, and flex the foot. Now, this may have been fine, but it should have been uncomfortable. And our next time going through this movement, or these series of movements, or what's similar to it, it is definitely going to be a significantly more challenging experience. We're gonna go ahead and flip over now onto the inside of our knees. Go ahead and bring your feet together like we're doing our butterfly. We're going to do an inverted butterfly. So this sort of position that we're holding now, what we're going to do is take that and flip it over. So I'm going to rest my feet on the ground behind me and push my knees out to a great width as far as I can. My goal is to be on the inside of my knee, not the top or the front of my knee. I want to be on the inside of my knee as best as possible. Now from that position, I am not sitting my hips on my heels. Instead, I'm going to keep my hips up and engaged. They're at the same distance out as my knees. And as you guys can see, a nice straight line from my knee up to my hip. I'm going to make the head of my body the tip of that point. Now putting all of the weight of my torso into my hips. Now resting in here and relaxing in here, you'll find your body naturally sinks back. Our goal is to keep our hips pressed forward and stay up. Now we talked about PNF stretches. PNF stretching, we're going to be using some of that here in this moment. So we're going to hit our inverted butterfly, or some people call it a frog stretch. We're going to hit that stretch position. We're going to lock ourselves up. We're going to squeeze like we're pulling our knees to each other. Squeeze like you're closing the book that is your thighs. From front cover to back cover, close that. Squeeze and hold it. Keep squeezing, keep holding. We're going to hold the squeeze for 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go on ahead and relax. We're going to lean ourselves out of that movement. We're going to lean ourselves forward. And so now you guys can see I pulled myself essentially into my resting position. I'm not coming out of the stretch. I'm just taking some of the weight off and out of that position. So we are going to go back into that stretch. We're going to flex and hold ourselves. We're going to do that 2 more times, 10 seconds apiece. So when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in the nose and exhale the mouth. Deep breath in and lock yourself in place. And exhale and keep breathing for your whole 10 seconds, which started like 5 seconds ago. Good, that's our 10 seconds. Come on out, resting now, holding the weight off to the side, holding yourself up, but not directly over your hips. Now if you can, wiggle your hips a little wider if that's even possible for you. If you can slide your hips back a little and slide your hips forward a little, and you can feel your knees almost weeble and wobble their ways out just a little bit. You may even have someone that you trust pull very lightly or push very lightly on your hips out, push down on your hips very lightly. But now that we've gotten a little bit of rest, we're gonna go back in for our last hold, the last 10-second hold. Hope you guys are ready. Go ahead, deep breath in and out. Push yourself all the way up into place and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Woo. All right. And what we're going to do is lay ourselves down as best as we can to flat and slowly bring our legs together behind us. Just like that. Little weebles wobbles. All right. Let me go on ahead and pick myself back up and sit myself back down on my heels. This is how we started in our previous stretch, sitting on our heels. Oh my goodness. I know my hips hurt. Movement. We're going to stand ourselves up, all the way up, walk our legs out a little bit. And we're going to do our next series of stretches, starting with a nice big middle split. That's right. We're doing it again, but we're not gonna do our seated middle split this time. We're actually going to press ourselves down and into our middle split from the top, from standing, as wide as you feel comfortable. Now, for those of you at home, if you have something next to you like a couch or a bed or a chair, even just a normal chair, you can have next to you or in front of you to hold on to act as a support. If you're not down low enough in your middle split that you can hold yourself with your arms, you're gonna want something like, we'll say, this is my chair. It's my kitchen chair, my dining chair, whatever. You're gonna want something that when you're in your straddle, you can lean on, right? Because we all kind of just need somebody to lean on sometimes. No, but this sort of object will help you to get your stretch while also making sure that you don't get injured. So, I'm going to go on ahead, take that as you guys had way more than enough time to catch your breath, and we're going to get started on our second middle split. This one is going to be standing and stay standing. In our previous one we sat down, and this one we're going to slide ourselves out, let ourselves slide out. If you're on a tile floor or a hardwood floor and you're in socks, be careful, stay ready. Know your personal limits, know your personal boundaries. Go ahead and get yourself ready to set yourself in place as close to your chest over your hips as possible, right? Currently my chest is forward and in front of my hips. So if I'm out here like this, you guys can see, currently my chest is forward. Our goal is to have our chest back and up, as close to up as we can. If you have that thing there with you, whatever your thing may be, you can hold on to that thing to help hold yourself up in posture, right? So I know I've been talking and moving and adjusting, but you should still be staying in that middle split. I'm gonna come back down into mine, just right here, holding myself up as close to straight up as possible. We're gonna stay in there for just a little while. And anything more than 5 seconds feels like a long time. So we're gonna stay there. We're gonna breathe. We're gonna hold it. And if we can, we're gonna let ourselves get a little deeper, get a little closer to our split. And if you need to, we can sit ourselves backwards out of it and slowly bring our legs forward. All right, we're gonna go back into our butterfly. One more time. Pull those feet in, flap those wings out. This should feel really nice after having just done that middle split. We're actually gonna go from our butterfly into our inverted butterfly again. So after this, a few wing flaps. Let's flip over. Toes down, knees out. We're gonna hold ourselves up. We're gonna flex and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now we're going to go ahead and put our hands down, and we're going to slide our feet out and try and get our feet back and out, push ourselves out into our middle split, and slide as much as we need to as we can into our middle split. We're going to hold that. We're going to hold it for 20 seconds. I'm watching the clock, 20 on the clock. Good stuff. All right. Make sure you keep breathing constantly in the nose and out the mouth. And again, the more upright, the better off that you'll be. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go on ahead and take that seat. Huh. All right. Carefully bring the legs together. This is lots of stretches. We're going to make sure that we have taken a little bit of time to now cater to the fact that we just had our legs super wide set, super duper pulled far wide apart. We're going to do a Hollywood stretch. We've got one leg straight out, we cross the other leg over it just like this, and now we can cross our torso against that leg. So for you guys to see, I have my left leg out, right leg bent over the top. I'm now going to go left elbow to the outside of my right knee and close my hips by pushing my knee over. You guys can see my hip is this way, turned outwards and open, and now I'm pushing it closed. I'm turning myself over. When you guys are turned and you're holding this Hollywood stretch, don't forget to breathe, and that you guys should be physically pushing your elbow through the movement, pushing your chest through the movement, pushing here, pushing. Get a big turn on the body, and we're gonna come on back out of that. We're gonna go into a nice little figure four, just for a moment. We're gonna roll our ankle out just a little bit, grab a hold of the toes, grab a hold of the shin or the calf, and roll that out. Always, always, always making sure to keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Roll the ankle in both directions. And then we are going to switch to our opposite leg. So, put this leg out nice and straight. I had my right over top. Now, I'm a left over top. Since it's left over top here, I'm gonna go right over left. Boom. Now I can push this way with my elbow to push my knee over. And I can push into the ground to push my shoulder back. Making sure to look the direction of your twist. Breathe in the nose and out the mouth. All right. Good. Go ahead and come on out of there. Crossing the legs, keeping them crossed. Going to roll out that ankle like we did on our previous leg. So make sure that you really grab a hold of the toes and that you squeeze tightly on the shin. That you really roll that foot out. Big, big controlled articulated rotations for the ankle, making sure we roll that in the opposite direction as well. So whatever movement that you do with your body on one side, you should reciprocate that act on the other side. That means do it again, create that same movement, do it again on the opposite side. We are almost all done. We've got one last workout and just a little bit of stretches. So taking this space where we're seated, we're actually going to go back into that figure four position. From our figure four, we're going to do a straight leg lift. So keeping that foot or the shin above the knee. You don't want that crossed down below the knee. You want that foot crossed above the knee. Then holding ourselves up with our hands if we need to, but with just our balance if we can. We're then going to take that bottom leg. We're going to pump it up off the ground 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And now we're going to go ahead and grab a hold of that lower leg and pull ourselves in using our forearms and our elbows to lock this leg down and in place. Don't forget, straighten out your spine and push your chest up and through the movement. And we're going to come on out. Switch. We're going to do that whole circuit movements on our opposite side now. So crossing, I was crossed left over right. Now I am right over left. Go ahead and make sure that that foot is above the knee. If you need to, hold yourself up with your hands just a little bit to balance. Go ahead and do so. But we're going to do our leg lifts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good. All right. And from there, going ahead, just like we did previously, we're going to finish off. Take a nice big deep breath in the nose, out the mouth. Grab a hold of the bottom of the leg, locked out. Use the forearm and the bicep or the tricep, the elbow. You're gonna hold that leg down and in place and pull yourself further. Then push the chin and the chest up and through. Deep breath in the nose and out the mouth. Good, all right, come on out of there. And our last two stretches for today's class are gonna be our bridge stretch and our tuck and roll. So if you guys had a mat before, you got rid of your mat, now's a good chance to go on ahead, get your mat, bring it back. Mats help to prevent with sliding if you guys are sliding or falling around and falling all over your place. Now your hips are gonna be sore. Not just today, but probably tomorrow as well, and maybe even the day after. So keep that in mind. You guys are gonna wanna drink a lot of water to help alleviate some of that soreness. Okay guys? So we did a lot, drink a lot of water. We're gonna do our last two stretches, and then you all should go get water. So, last two. Bridge, starting with that laying flat position. We're going to roll our hands flat to the ground behind our head, just like so, and keep our feet close to our butt. We're going to press our heel of our hand into the ground, nice and strong, nice and firm. We're going to lift ourselves up, and we're going to try and push our legs straight. Keep our feet and knees together. Hold that for a few more seconds. Don't forget to breathe. Come down. We're going to tuck and roll now. So tuck into a ball, tuck and roll. And that is the end of today's class. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys got your workout. I hope you guys got as many stretches in as I did. And I hope you all do take this great word of advice. Drink a lot of water. You'll need it. Today's lesson for AcroFlex was episode number 6, and it didn't care about you at all. It was a rough one, especially on the interior hip flexor. So drink a bunch of water, and honestly, do this episode another time tonight. Do it later on tonight. I think it'll benefit you guys greatly. Go on ahead and check out some of our other episodes. If you guys have not yet done so, we have 5 previous episodes. You're on number 6. But if you guys didn't know, we also have parkour streaming as well as tricking that is streaming. We're live streaming those things Monday through Friday as well as on Saturdays. Many of our previous episodes have listed our times, but if you guys are curious, you can find our streaming times on our website as well as our web page, directly on the page on Facebook. That's what I meant. Our Facebook page, not our web page. Our website and our web page is the same thing. Silly me. I need more water. Anyway, you guys, you can check it out, find all of our information. It's all online. It's posted there for you guys, so you have an endless resource. We are going to be streaming tomorrow our parkour episode 6. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a rough one, so make sure that you guys are ready. Stay prepared, stay hydrated, keep your hands washed, and we're going to go ahead and make it through this whole thing together, I promise. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.